want more, Jim. I hear you though.
All right, we are live on YouTube.
I see everybody.
Okay, I see you there now, Jim, but you're full screen. But anyway, I'll call a meeting to order for the Township of Montague Committee of Adjustment. First thing we'll have to do is approve the agenda. Want a mover and a seconder?
I'll move
I'll move it or second it, whichever, Jim.
it. I'll follow or go first, whichever.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
Okay. Now we have the approval of the minutes of the June 10th, 2021. We both read over the minutes.
Yeah.
And are you happy with the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Mary.
Yes, Jasmine brought it up this morning that we need to appoint a secretary treasurer of the Committee of Adjustment. And she's suggesting that you appoint Christie.
Okay, we'll do that next.
That's it.
Yes, can we appoint who?
Christie.
All right, all in favor of appointing, or I guess we need somebody to appoint her and then somebody to second it, do we, Mary?
Yes.
I'll make the motion to appoint her.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, all in favor? I don't see Jim, so you have to speak up,
Oh,
Jim.
yes.
Okay,
Can you hear
thank
me? Okay.
There we are.
What did I
Who
do
did
then?
you just appoint? Christie, okay.
Yeah, we did vote on the minutes, didn't we? That we approved them,
Yep.
eh?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so now we'll get into the minor variance application for 24 King Street. One question, when I got the report, it said, if I get to where I want to read it here. It gave the lot described as the lot on the east side, not the one on the west side. Which site is it for sure, east or west? Because from the land to be severed from the Carlton Place, when they approved the severance, the land B20/053 is on the east side, not the one that on the left side, on the west side. So which property are we actually talking about?
It is actually the west side.
What the,
That's the one,
Chris,
the
would you,
minutes say the
Chris can confirm that.
the one on Rideau Street, right?
Yes. No,
Okay.
it's
The corner lot.
the corner lot.
yeah,
Yes.
okay, but on the, I don't know if you can see this.
Yep.
Yeah, the one on the corner.
Okay, but the number up here is the number that was listed on the,
Okay.
I don't know, that has to be changed, I guess
So
it
it's,
would.
it should be 054 then. Okay, I'll just change the report then to show that.
Okay, it's just when I
Yep.
looked up on where it was severed, and then I questioned to myself, which one is it? Because it says one place, one, and then the drawings you sent us today showed the other one, so.
But
Anyway,
it is, yeah, it is the corner lot, so I'll get that changed to 054.
Yeah,
okay,
that's correct because one of our minor variances is concerning that 7-meter setback from the corner lot. So that's correct, 5-4.
All right, why did I lose everybody?
okay, Mary, do you want to give the planner's report here, please?
Okay, as indicated on the report that was attached to the agenda, the property is located at 24 King Street, just outside the town of Smith Falls and south of the railway tracks. The application for minor variance is to reduce the interior and exterior side yards to accommodate a newly a dwelling to be constructed on the lot. application was received in July and from Daniel Botelgia and Natalie Botelgia. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. And it's to construct a residential dwelling with a front garage on the main street. The proposal is to reduce the interior side yard from 3 meters to 1.2 and reduce the exterior side yard from 7 meters to 6 meters. Did I have that right? Yeah, okay. The area is serviced by water and sewer through an agreement with the town of Smith Falls. Grading and servicing details were provided and will be presented to the manager of public works for final review once they're installed. Received only one comment from the town of Smith Falls. No other public comments were received. Or tasks for review. Sorry, I've got two screens here and they're both small. Does the proposal meet the general intent of the official plan? Yes, for that area because it's within a hamlet, basic hamlet area or settlement area. It meets the general intent of the zoning bylaw and with just very minor encroachments into the side yards. The proposal is desirable and appropriate use of land. Yes, it's in a settlement area, which encourages more concentrated development. And is the proposal minor? Yes, it's one of these side. Back here, just a sec. The interior side yard would be a 47% decrease, and the interior side yard would be a 3% decrease. So it does meet the general intent of the official plan and the zoning bylaw, and is recommended that the application be approved as submitted. Thank you.
When you said the side yard would be 3%, on my calculation, it's 60%.
Okay, I think from 7.5 down to 6.
No, not that one, the other one.
Oh, the other one, yeah. I calculated 3 down to 1.2 is what was
60%.
60%. Oh, yeah, it was 57%. Yeah, look at my notes again here, 57%. So
I can't see anybody. Where'd y'all go?
I can see you.
Okay, all right, that's fine. As long as you can see me and hear me, we're good.
Okay, I guess we don't have Christie on here. Do we have any
Yeah, she's here.
attendance by the public? Is
I'm
there
on
any?
mute, sorry. I was on mute. We don't have any questions right now from the public.
Okay. Okay, questions from the committee. Well, I'll start out. I have a few questions. On the, when we evaluate the proposal, does the proposal meet the general intent of the official plan? That's one question. But the second question is, does the proposal meet the general intent of the zoning bylaw? And in that one, it says the applicant needs to demonstrate the encroachment is the best they can do. I don't think I've received that yet. How is that the best encroachment you can do?
So my name is Dan Mathelia. I'm the applicant. And so we've been developing both lots. As you saw, there are 2 adjacent lots, and we're using the same plans for both dwellings. The issue is the corner encroachment, the corner setback, which is, from 3 to the interior yard setback to a 7-meter variance on the outside. We are building our 3-bedroom home, which will be up for rent as a rental property. And the difference in budgeting, from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom home is quite comparable, and has been increasingly high with COVID. And so the difference in budgeting between a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom for us is kind of very comparable. However, the income on rental for a 3-bedroom home would make the project much more viable, as opposed to only a 2-bedroom income for rental. It wouldn't sustain the project.
Okay, but problem I have been the side lot down to 1.2 meters. In the future, if that other lot is sold, at my place, where the snow comes off my roof, because I have a metal roof, it comes out more than 2 meters. It would destroy any fence, any vehicle parked there, it would damage it. And it's a 60% reduction that you're requesting on that side lot. I don't consider that minor, in my opinion. Has any other members got a questions or comments to make on that?
Go ahead, Brian.
I understand what you're saying, Tommy, about the coming off the roof, right? But that, the other lot has not been sold though yet, right?
So I'm building on that property. I'm building both homes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so then we could go ahead with today, and then you can make the adjustment on the next time you make a minor variance to build the other home, correct?
No minor variance on the other home would be required. I respect all setbacks.
Okay,
So for 26 King Street, I would be 3 meters away from both neighbors, 7.5 in the front, and the required setback in the back would also be respected. So I'm okay. It's just this 24. In response to the question about the interior yard setback, would the committee be would approve more the shifting of the house towards the exterior yard setback? If we took that 1.8 meter and applied it to the 6 meter, reducing that exterior yard setback to 4.2 meters instead of 6, would that be preferable? So the snow, rain, etc. would have enough room on both sides of the house to drain?
But what about in the future when that property is sold? Then the next person who buys that property next door, the snow would be on their property.
So
That's where I'm concerned that if we approve it, we are approving a problem for the future person that owns that property.
I understand. So my proposal is to respect the interior yard setback. So if we just shift the house over towards the west, 1.8 meters. So then we would respect the interior yard setback, and then I guess my minor variance application would only be for the exterior yard setback, but this time of 2.8 meters instead of the 1 meter.
But the property line isn't changing. The snow will be crossing the property line, is my concern. So we are creating a problem down the road for future residents of owners of that property.
Okay,
Because if they put up a plastic fence, which a lot of people do, that snow will wipe it right out. I know from my roof when it comes off in a big chunk in the spring, it would wipe a fence right out of one of those plastic vinyl fences.
right. Go ahead, Chris. Did you want to jump in, Chris?
Yeah, so what Dan is asking, Tom, is rather than have 1.2 meters to the side, would you prefer to have 3 meters on the side? And then rather than 6 on the Rideau Ave South side, you have 4.2. So that way there's at least 3 meters on either side of the building, and the snow issue wouldn't be an issue if the property's sold. So,
got it.
right, so we shifted over towards Rideau Ave South, is what
But
he's
then you
saying.
are closer to the road allowance, a road over there. It's not a property line, it's a road. And your setback normally is 7 meters from the road.
Right, but I mean, in fairness, that road services 2 houses. I'm not saying that that's inconsequential, but if you look at overall, what would be impacted, like the house behind these two lots that's already there, and maybe one of the lots on the other side. But there's also an existing fence on that property, for like right on the property line, that would sort of keep, you know, I don't think it would be an issue in terms of impact on the road if we were to shift it a bit closer to the exterior side yard.
Then the
road is a dead end.
right,
Yeah.
the road is a dead end, but if you shift it over that side, then you should, like, is there a sidewalk on that side of the road? Is there
No.
future going to be a sidewalk? Has anyone asked the road department of Montague if they are happy if they reduce that side lot that much? I would not speak for the roads department. I do not know what their plan is in the future, if they're going to put sidewalks down there or what.
I don't want to speak to that either, but I would think that since there's a rail track right at the end of the road, like not too far north of where we are, I'd find it unlikely that the town would put sidewalks on that part of the road. It would be servicing one building, right? Like it'd be going to one building ultimately, like that sidewalk would almost be useless to have there. So I like I said, I can't speak for them, but I think it would be unlikely they would put a sidewalk on that road.
But
I
if you
tend to
reduce
agree.
that side lot down to 4 meters from 7 meters,
7.5 to 4.2. And then the interior side would stay at 3, is what we're saying.
but that would still give you, still would be a high percentage of variance.
Right. And variance is, though, you know, it's not always just about the number, it's about the impact. If Rideau Ave South were a huge thoroughfare that connected to different parts of the town and it was a highly traveled road, you know, I could see the argument that decreasing that setback even more would be problematic. But you're talking about a stretch of road that's maybe a couple 100 meters long. And I just, in terms of impact on the property owners there, I don't see reducing the setback from 7.5 to 4.2 as being overly constrenuous on any of the properties further up the road.
I look at percentage wise, and that's a high percentage of gain. That's, I haven't got the number right here figured just out yet, but it's not, to me, it's not a minor variance. A minor variance, if you had that high a percentage on your tax increase, you wouldn't say that's a minor tax increase. That's what I'm looking at, because we have to look at what the variance is and the percentages. And it says, we do also look at the numbers of the percentage.
There is no sidewalk there now.
Yeah, and the road itself is actually, you know, while we're proposing right now 7.5 to 6 meters, that 6 meter setback is to the property line. The actual road is a couple meters over yet from the property line, right? So it's not like reducing it to 4.2 doesn't mean you're 4.2 meters from the road. You're 4.2 meters from the road allowance. So you'd still have a little bit more of a buffer there as well, right?
Well, well, I don't know. There's no drainage in that area. I don't believe there's any drains down there, ditches. If a ditch went in on the side of the road.
No, there are no ditches, Tom, and there's no sidewalks either. I actually live on Rideau Avenue. I'm exactly about 50 feet from where this is going, one block, because it's on First Street. I'm on Second Street. We don't have sidewalks along Rideau. There's like 2 spots where there's a little bit, and the rest is just wide open.
I know council a few years ago, they were being requested to have sidewalks in some of that area there. I think it was
Yes,
that
we
area.
requested it every year. I've lived here for 21 years, and every year it's been requested because there's a lot of kids, strollers, bikes in the area now, but oh, well, I guess the money's better spent somewhere else.
Well, someday they might get the sidewalks in.
They might. let's hope. But I don't think we can proceed based on what if.
Yeah, but when we, on item 4 of our, what we are, is a proposal minor, when you read down there, the numeric or proportional increase requested, that's part of what you look at. So the numerical increase to me is not minor, and in my opinion.
No, and I understand where you're coming from, Tom. I just don't work, because we're working on a small number. We're not working on 700 feet. We're working on 7 feet. It's going to be a high percentage because it's a low area to begin with. Do you understand my reasoning?
Right.
You know, if this was, like I said, 70 feet and there was that big of a discrepancy, well, yeah, I agree with you 100%. It would not be minor, but based on only 7 feet, that 1.2 may work out to 60%, but it's really only 1.2, right?
So what do you think about this, Jim?
I like the idea when you brought that up, first of all, about it being close to the line for snow and that. I kind of going to agree if they switch it over and split the difference up a bit and move it more closer to the roadway. I was up there and looked at the lots and wanted to make sure what was going on. I don't think there's any problem to do that with the situation where this house is going to go myself. I looked at it. There's only another house, one house behind it, and there's one across the road or two, one in the corner, I think, and one just down a bit. So in my opinion, I think if they do what you suggested, get more room for the snow to fall off the roof and then go that way with it. And there was no neighbors complained about anything at the back or anything from what I listened to. I'd be happy with that, I think. I can see where you're coming from, Tom, but I think in this situation, there is no sidewalks. I can never foresee sidewalks going there. And if they did, you're still farther away from where the sidewalk's going. And
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But if we approve it, like the land division, they approved the 2 lots. Now we're saying we're going to approve it being a non-conforming lot. Like a non-conforming normally is an existing lot that was there previously. This lot has just been created and it became a non-conforming lot. That's my problem is we are creating a non-conforming lot. It's not one that was existed for eons. It's one that's just been created.
Well, through you, Mr. Chair, the lots are conforming, right? Like the land division wouldn't have let us pass these applications if they didn't conform to the minimum frontage and area. But land division doesn't really look at development plans at that time. You don't approve a lot based on how big the house might be.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, if we approve this, then what they approved, we've made it a non-conforming lot because it's not meeting the requirements. It's too close to the road, the building, or too close to the property line. That's what I'm saying is we are creating a non-conforming, which if the lot had been that size for 20 years, 10 years, I would agree with you, but it's a new lot. So if it's a new lot, before you created the lot, you should have looked at what size house you're going to put on the lot and what the requirements were. Can you not redesign the house so it meets within the requirements? Like the lot, when you created the lot, you should have looked at what size house you're going to put on there and how much space you had on each side to be conforming. Now, if it was a minor percentage, which with the first one where you wanted to do on the roadside, that I would say is minor, but on the other side, no. And if you move the whole house over, then you've encroached on that side way too much. That's my opinion on it. It's, you know, it's pre-planning. If you go and get the plans changed to create a lot there, to create 2 lots instead of one good sized lot where you're going to put the house in the middle, a nice big house, that's one thing. But when you make it that small, you've limited yourself to the size of the house you can put on it. And I don't think that we should be encouraging a non-conforming house on a lot that was just created. That's my opinion. Sorry. Do you have any more to say on that, Jim?
Well, I can sure see where you're coming from after mentioning that. I don't know if we go back to where he had it in the first place and leave it the way that he wanted it. And I know it's only, what is it, 1.5 meters for the snow to fall?
No,
But-
1.2 meters.
1.2 meters. So
The
it's
snow that comes
roughly
off my
5
roof-
feet. 5 feet, maybe? Would that be 5 feet from the
No,
house?
that's not 5 feet. It's a little over, almost 4 feet, not quite 4 feet. When
Yeah,
the snow
meter's
comes off my
39,
roof
that's-
in the spring, it
Yeah.
comes out more than 6 feet, and it's thick, solid ice, and it just breaks anything that's sitting there.
Yeah. I don't know. Got me baffled here now.
Well,
Oh, me too, because, yeah,
How do we check to see if it's, or is there a bylaw that we can check to see? Can we authorize that to go closer to the road even?
I wouldn't authorize it without having the roads
Nope.
department agreeing with it. I would
We should
not,
have-
I would not authorize that.
Well, can we as a committee have that done before we? I mean, that's something that shouldn't take long to do, would it?
I don't know. I don't know how long it would take them to look at whatever they have to look up to see what the regulations are, what's planning on that area.
How soon is Dan, how soon is it you want to start building?
So originally it was supposed to be last spring, but there's been so many delays with material because of COVID that we pushed off to this spring.
Okay.
And in order for me to be able to order trusses and have them on time for scheduling for building this summer, I'm supposed to be ordering trusses by the beginning of March. So it's been a grueling process. I've been on this for 2 years. So the plan is to go ahead with the build this spring.
Okay. I think maybe, Tom, I kind of have to agree with you in a way. Maybe we should see if we can have the road superintendent and whoever in the township that does that part, get
Well, I
them
guess-
to take
I
a look
guess
at it,
we-
let us know.
Yeah, we would reject this and then they have to reapply and have the road superintendent, an agreement from him that he's happy with it.
And if he agrees with it, then I would suggest we go ahead then with it
and so
and
would
let
I
it go
agree.
closer to the road.
Go ahead, Mary.
We could, if that's the case, then you just need to defer the decision at this meeting. And with instructions that staff get in touch with the road superintendent and have for another close look at the side yards. And then you would bring it back as soon as possible. And I'm quite sure if Steve's not busy with snow plowing, that he could have a look at it within a day. So we could plan something maybe next week
Sure.
or to bring the issue back to committee, if that's agreeable.
It's agreeable with me.
Agreeable with me. What about you, Brian?
I'm fine with that. I mean, I really feel like we're caught between a rock and a hard place here, because like Jim says, you got a very valid point, Tom. But because I live right here and I see this daily, I really don't have a big problem with it, but I can understand where you're coming from about future problems. We
Yeah,
can't.
it's
future problems.
not the problem now. It's when the 3 lots are
I
sold,
understand that, and
3
I wouldn't-
properties are sold. And that's a future problem that I don't think council wants to have to deal with
No, I agree
if
with you. Jim. I
if
think we
there's
should-
problems with it. And with the, I know the snow off my roof because when I put the metal roof on, it comes down in the spring and it comes out there at least 6 feet and it demolishes anything that's there. So if
Yeah.
there's a fence there, a car there, and the property's sold and somebody parks their car there, it's really gonna be damaged.
No, I'm okay. I think we can just do like our leader said and defer and get moving on it and get it settled as quick as we can.
Okay.
Can we clarify, is the intention to increase the interior side yard fully to 3 meters, or would you be okay with 2? Like, are you looking for a complying interior side and then we move it the rest toward the road? Or are you looking more for the 6 feet, like 2 meters, and then we go, 5.2 on the roadside?
Well, 2 meters, I know from the roof, the snow that comes off my roof, sometimes it's past 2 meters. So I would prefer personally the 3 meters to the property line on the side, just because I know how snow comes off a metal roof. And whatever roof is put on there when it's built, it could be put on metal later, because mine was asphalt when I moved here, bought it, and we replaced it with a metal roof. And I know how the snow comes down, and it just covers my deck when it comes down. And if I don't get on it before it freezes, if it comes down during the night and I leave it for a day and it turns really cold, it's a big block of ice out there, and I'm hours and hours removing it off the deck. So I would prefer the 3 meters between the property line from the edge of the roof, because where the house is going to go, the roof is going to slope towards the property line. Now, if it was a gable end on the roof on that side,
That makes a difference.
then I could see it reducing to 2 meters. But since way the roof is, I'm sure the roof is going to be sloping that direction, because on the plans it said there's no eave troughs on that side, and they wouldn't say that if it was a gable end.
So
So I
what's our
would-
intentions then? Defer this until
I
Steve
would
gets a
say
chance to take a look?
to defer it, put the 3 meters to the property line, and defer it to the other side, or reduce the width of the building, width of the house. Make the house narrower to conform with the bylaws. Because I believe when they say minor is minor. Minor is not 50% to me, or 40%. That's major. And I don't think that's a minor application once it goes over a large percentage like that, in my opinion. But anyway, let's move to, when a mover to defer it, and we'll meet that again. So we'll have a mover and a seconder.
I'll move it. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
I'm in favor. I can't see
I'm in
Okay.
favor.
That good enough, Mary?
Yes, yes, that's fine. Is there any preference for a time? So Chrissy could schedule something?
I'll make my, excuse me, I'll make myself available as long as I know a day ahead here. That's all.
Yeah, I'm available most days.
I'm available most days too, so.
So whenever it's suitable for Christie to get this information, or whoever gets it, and then, or Mary, for you to get it and get back to us.
Yeah, I'm good for any day next week if that's the plan, except for Monday at 9 a.m. That's my only meeting so far.
Oh, Thursday morning, I'm not available.
It probably won't be until Friday, because I'm in the office on Wednesday and I'll have a discussion with Steve.
Okay.
I'll send him an email ahead of time though.
So tentatively, it'll be next Friday.
I'm clear all week.
Sorry, what did you say, Brian? I didn't quite hear you.
I'm free all week,
Okay,
anytime, any day.
all right.
You must be retired.
Well, kinda.
Mr.
Okay.
Chair, it's
Yeah.
Christie. Can we tentatively just schedule for 1 PM for next Friday?
That's what I would do.
Fine with me.
Okay.
Are you happy with that, Brian?
Yep, Friday, sure. Let me just check the calendar again.
Friday. I'm good.
Sorry, I just had a question.
Actually, Friday's not a good day. It's the only day I'm not free. Sorry.
Sorry, do you want to repeat that, Brian?
Did you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, yes, I have trouble hearing you at times, Brian.
Sorry, there's something wrong with my computer. I can't see anybody. Actually, Friday is the only day that I cannot do it.
Oh, okay.
I forgot what day it was. I'm just gonna check the calendar one more time.
I'm good any day, so as long as you just pick a
Yeah,
day that,
next Friday is the 4th. I can't do it. I've got a hospital procedure, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm good. Anytime.
Okay, well, I'm good except for Thursday morning.
well, what about Thursday at 1 then?
Thursday at 1, does that sound reasonable for everybody else?
It is for me if it's good for the rest of you.
Will that work for you, Mary?
Yes.
Dan, go ahead.
Thank you. I just had a question. So once Stephen Rothwell has a chance to look at the fiscal situation, does that mean that it will proceed and we'll go ahead and approve, or what are the next steps?
We'll have to see the report from Stephen first. He'll have to give us a written report that he's happy with it being that close to the road allowance. And then we will make a decision at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Like, I'm personally, to me, that's too close to the road, but we'll leave that up to the road superintendent to make that decision. And if he agrees, I will vote for it myself. Otherwise, the house will have to be narrowed or redesigned so it'll fit on the lot. Or maybe your lot line, you could move the lot line over the other way, 2 meters the other way, make that lot 2 meters bigger than the other lot, and then you would work. But then I don't know if the other lot would be big enough to build on.
Well, then I would not respect the width allowance for that lot. I'm exactly at 18 meters, which is what's expected. So if I shorten that, then I'll have to apply for a minor variance on the other lot to reduce from 18 to 16.
And the lots are already approved, so we'd have to reapply through Lanark County, I would think, if we switch the lot lines around. So
Oh, yeah,
That's
you would
correct.
have to definitely apply to Lanark County
Yeah.
again. But what way I'm looking at it, this should have been all planned out before you applied to have the lots divided up on what size of property was going to be built on the property, or what size house was going to be built on the property. But that's not for me to remark on. Anyway, if we're going to
Yep.
recall a meeting on next Thursday at 1
Thursday.
o'clock,
Okay.
and we voted on that. So do you want a mover to adjourn, or is there any more questions?
I have no more questions.
Go
I
ahead.
don't have any more.
We can move to adjourn it. do we need to go out to the office and sign anything?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn?
I'll move it.
I'll
Or
second.
Brian can.
No, I think Jim moved it and Brian seconded it. He said I think
Yep.
so. All in favor?
I'm
Aye.
in favor. If you can't
I'm in
see,
favor.
you hear me.
Okay, meeting is now closed.